There is a strange feeling settling over the Big Easy right now. It is that quiet tension you only feel when the path forward finally becomes clear. Our star under center is facing a reality that nobody saw coming. This isn't just about another season. It is about the future of everything we love. If you are a real fan who believes in the Super Bowl dream, you need to hear this. Please hit that like button and subscribe to stay with us. Something is shifting in the atmosphere, and the pressure is rising fast. Now that the dust has settled on the official schedule release, we have to talk about the reality facing Tyler Shough and this New Orleans Saints roster. On paper, some experts are claiming we have one of the easiest paths in the NFL. But if you look closer, there is a hidden danger that could derail everything Kellen Moore is trying to build. We are looking at a gauntlet that starts with the highest possible stakes. Imagine opening the year on the road against two of the most physical teams in the league. We are talking about traveling to Detroit and then immediately heading to Baltimore. That is a brutal assignment for a quarterback trying to find his rhythm in a new system. It feels like the league is testing our resolve from the very first snap. But here is the thing that really keeps me up at night. The schedule isn't just about who we play. It is about when and where we play them. We have a stretch from Thanksgiving to Christmas where we are basically living out of suitcases, playing 4 road games in just 5 weeks. That is where seasons are lost. That is where depth is tested until it snaps. Now this is where it gets interesting because while the beginning looks like a nightmare, the back end has these little pockets of hope. We have matchups against the Cardinals and the Browns that people are already marking down as easy wins. But in the NFL, nothing is ever that simple. We are seeing a team that has to find its identity under fire. There is a lot of buzz around how Kellen Moore will handle the pressure of these road environments early on. If we stumble out of the gate against the Lions and Ravens, the weight on this franchise becomes almost unbearable. We are looking at a situation where Tyler Shough has to be perfect just to keep us afloat before we even get to the divisional games. It is a narrative of survival. Every single game on this list has a hidden implication for the playoff race. The tension is building because we know the talent is there, but the path is much steeper than the national media wants to admit. It feels like something big is happening behind the scenes as the coaching staff prepares for this reality. We must be ready. When you dive deeper into these rankings, you start to see the emotional hurdles that could define the legacy of this specific group. Take the trip to Paris to face the Steelers in Week 7. That is not just a game. It is a massive logistical and mental challenge that comes right in the middle of the season. We are seeing a Saints team that will be far from home, facing a Pittsburgh defense that always plays with a chip on its shoulder. The consequences of that one game could ripple through the rest of the year. If we come back from overseas exhausted, how do we handle the divisional games that follow? And honestly, the emotional peak of this entire schedule has to be Week 4 against the Atlanta Falcons. It is the 20th anniversary of the Superdome reopening after the storm. We all remember that blocked punt. We all remember the energy that changed this city forever. Now, we have a primetime Monday night slot to recreate that magic. The pressure on Tyler Shough to perform in that environment is going to be unlike anything he has faced. This is where the roster impact becomes real. We need our defense, led by guys like Chase Young, to feed off that crowd because the Falcons are not the same team they used to be. They swept us last year, and that sting hasn't gone away. There is a lot of uncertainty about how this new-look Saints team handles the weight of expectation in these high-profile moments. If we can't protect our home turf on a night like that, what does it say about the future of the franchise? We are also looking at a Week 18 finale against Tampa Bay that could be for the entire NFC South title. But here is the risk. We have lost 4 straight to the Bucs at home. That is a mental block that has to be broken. The expectations are sky high, but the margin for error is razor thin. Every time I look at these matchups, I see a different way the season could turn. It is not just about the stats or the schemes anymore. It is about whether this locker room has the grit to survive the travel and the primetime pressure. We are all waiting to see if this is the year we finally take back control again. But this is where things change, and we have to talk about the games that no one is paying enough attention to. The middle of the season is littered with potential trap games that could become a nightmare for Kellen Moore. Specifically, that Week 11 trip to Chicago. This is where the emotional stakes get incredibly personal. We are going up against our former head coach, Dennis Allen, who is now the defensive coordinator for the Bears. You know he has that date circled on his calendar. He knows our players, he knows our tendencies, and he is going to want to prove a point against the organization that moved on. That kind of insider knowledge creates a level of future tension that is hard to ignore. And that is the biggest question. Can Tyler Shough outsmart a coach who helped build the very defense he practices against? because this could become something much bigger than just one win or loss. It is a test of the team's new identity. If we let a former coach dismantle our offense, the chemistry concerns will start to dominate the conversation. We are also looking at a brutal stretch where we play Green Bay and Cincinnati back-to-back. Those are teams with Super Bowl aspirations and elite quarterback play. The pressure on our secondary is going to be immense. If we don't have our depth sorted out by December, we could see a collapse that ruins all the hard work from the early months. I am looking at the roster implications of these cold weather road games, and it worries me. New Orleans is a dome team, and yet we are being asked to go into Chicago and Cincinnati late in the year when the elements become a factor. This is where the season is won or lost. It is about more than just talent. It is about physical and mental toughness. The narrative of this season is being written in these difficult environments. Every week feels like a crossroads. One wrong step against a team like the Giants or the Raiders, and the momentum we've worked so hard to build could vanish in an instant. The fans can feel it. The players can feel it. The stakes have never been higher for this era of Saints football. We are watching a high-stakes chess match where every move has a massive consequence right now. I am going to be honest with you all. This actually worries me more than I thought it would when the schedule first dropped. I really like this move to bring in Kellen Moore, and I think Tyler Show has the tools to be special, but this schedule is a gauntlet that doesn't care about our optimism. I think fans should pay attention to the way the road games are bunched together. It feels almost unfair. But at the same time, I see a path where this team proves everyone wrong. If we can steal one of those first two games against Detroit or Baltimore, the entire energy of the city is going to shift. We would go from being underdogs to being the team that everyone is afraid to play. I really believe this move to prioritize the run defense in the offseason was the right call because of how this schedule is built. We are going to need to win ugly in some of these spots. This could be incredible if the chemistry clicks early, or this could become a problem if we let the travel fatigue set in. I am cautiously optimistic because I see a veteran presence on this defense that knows how to handle adversity. But we can't ignore the risks. The quarterback position is still the biggest question mark in terms of long-term stability. Show has to show he can stay healthy and productive through the most grueling parts of the year. When I look at the game against the Browns in Week 9, I see a must-win situation. If we drop games like that at home, the path to the playoffs becomes almost impossible. I want to see a team that plays with a sense of urgency from the very first snap of Week 1. We can't afford to be a team that starts slow and tries to catch up in December. The competition in the NFC South is getting better, and we can't rely on other teams falling apart. We have to take it. This schedule is a mirror reflecting back the true character of this roster. It is going to show us exactly who is ready for the big stage and who isn't. I am sticking with the Saints through it all, but I am keeping my eyes wide open. This year is going to be an emotional roller coaster for us all. As we look at the road ahead, it is clear that the 2026 season is going to be a defining chapter for the New Orleans Saints. The ranking of these games shows a path filled with both incredible opportunity and dangerous pitfalls. The future is uncertain, and that is exactly what makes this so intense. We are standing on the edge of something that could either lead back to the top of the division or force a total rebuild. The unresolved tension around how Tyler Show handles this gauntlet is going to be the story of the year. There is an emotional anticipation building in the Superdome that we haven't felt in a long time. It feels like something bigger is still coming, and we are just seeing the beginning of the drama. But I want to hear from you. How do you feel about this schedule? Do you think we can survive that opening stretch on the road? Or are the experts right to be worried? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we need the real fans to weigh in on this. Your voice is part of this journey. If you love this team as much as I do, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss a single update as this story unfolds. We are in this together, from the kickoff in Detroit to the final whistle against the Bucs. This is our team, this is our season, and we are ready. Who Dat Nation.